Hello, good evening and welcome to UPfront. My name is Raymond Akwa. My guest today is a former Municipal Chief Executive of Equiapim North and the newly elected National Youth Organizer of the Position National Democratic Congress, the NDC. His name is George Opare Addo. But even before he settles into the office, he has been talking tough, from who supported him in the race, which he actually won, to vigilantism and the future of the NDC. Today, we will probe these matters and have a better understanding of the man who is sworn to lead the party's youth to victory in the year 2020. George, you're welcome.
Thank you, Raymond.
I hope you're doing well.
By the grace of God, we can't complain.
What made you win?
Two things. The first is the God factor. The second is hard work.
God is for everybody. I want to believe that.
God factor. If God is for everybody, I believe my God is special. I serve the living God, and He delivered victory for me.
And the second one you said was what?
Hard work.
Hard work.
Yes.
From being a DC, MC, from time ago?
In respect to these elections, I started early. Last year, when I decided to run for National Youth Organizer, I put together a formidable team. I got a former regional youth organizer who himself had contested for the position of National Youth Organizer before and lost to become my campaign manager. We managed to tour this country twice. Imagine visiting 275 constituencies on 2 occasions. We did one last year before constituency elections were held. And then after constituency elections, we went round again to interact with youth organizers. I also had a strong backup team, a team that was made up of students and then former student leaders and youth organizers across the country. So they coordinated the campaign, worked effectively, and God delivered victory for us.
Before becoming MC of Equiapim North, what did you do?
I own a few companies around.
A few?
Yes.
Companies?
Yes.
I see.
In 2008, I was the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the Okre constituency. So in 2009...
So you contested Damboche?
Yes, I contested. I've contested Damboche twice.
Yeah, okay.
In 2009, at the age of 27 years, His Excellency, our late President, Professor Mills, appointed me MCE Equiapim North. And then in 2013, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama reappointed me again to serve in the high office as MCE. But before then, yes, he asked, I had a few businesses. I'm sure you know the IJIT Group. It's just on your screen.
Yes, absolutely.
I own that company.
I see.
I own IJIT, and then I own a few other companies. But because I'm into politics, I can't put out some of the names publicly, because this government will go after everything and collapse everything that is associated with the NDC.
That's a claim that cannot
be
verified.
Truth. That is very true. If you want me to
give me one simple example to back this claim.
One simple example?
Yes.
About a lot of companies.
Yes, specifically one
My companies are part.
Which one? Because what you say is that...
The construction bank.
Construction bank?
Yes.
Is it your company?
I'm associated with it.
No, you said your companies are part.
I am associated with it.
Are you a stakeholder of the
I said
bank?
I am associated with it. Let's not get into that.
No, because if you make a claim, I want proof that this is true.
But a lot of businesses, even contractors, even companies that are associated with the NDC that did contracts, they're refusing to pay them.
Specifically which one? Construction
logistics. I've just mentioned one company.
Is that your company too?
I just mentioned the name of the company.
They did business and they are refusing to pay them.
The government is refusing, but a lot of contractors are out there complaining.
Yes, I've heard many of those other contractors.
They are complaining, they are not paying them.
But that's because we don't have money generally, not just because they are
paying
NDC contractors.
They are awarding new contracts and paying for them.
They are paying MPP contractors.
They are paying new contracts, they are just awarding.
MPP contractors like who? Which institution?
Raymond, right?
Yes.
Let's not get into this. I'm here for another issue.
But you see, you brought it up.
No,
and
I'm saying that.
So that I don't make it look like
I'm saying that.
Passing comment.
No, it's not. But we know. These are the truth. The NPP is refusing to pay contractors associated with the NDC.
And you mentioned only one example. But
and I'm saying that, no, I don't want to jeopardize everybody's business. This government is so vindictive. Maybe you don't know. We are in this game and we know what they are doing to other people.
Well, maybe if it were to be so, would that be very obvious to the ordinary person? Don't you think so?
The ordinary Ghanaian is complaining. The ordinary Ghanaian is complaining.
About not payment of
the ordinary Ghanaian is struggling because, you know, people are being laid off by the day.
All right, so let's get back to this particular horse. I'm sure we come back to this particular issue later on in the day. But now, the conversation we started is pretty much to get to know how your political journey started. And this is important because the people who lead the youth are critical for the political parties. So why do you think you were elected beyond the hard work and the God factor?
The message we took around.
You took a message around?
It's called, we nicknamed it the Pablo Project. The Pablo Project was premised on 5 thematic areas. The first was decentralizing the workings of the youth wing and then getting the grassroots to participate actively in activities of the party. The second was youth empowerment, ways which we can empower young people within the NDC. The third was creation of a welfare system that will reward us once we find ourselves leading or finding ourselves in any problems or with challenges. The fourth is what I call the team drive, how we can make NDC attractive again in our various tertiary institutions.
Through the tertiary institutions network.
And then the last is what I call the creating of the Social Democratic Center in all the constituencies, where we intend to use social media to advocate and then advance the cause of the NDC.
So this was the superior information and the message you sent to the people?
Exactly.
The accusation is that you bribed them. You are a man who has the wherewithal to get these delegates to vote for you. Did you do so?
I don't know if I offer you food and water, if you regard that as bribe.
I don't think so.
Exactly. Because, you see,
so that's what you do for them?
Sometimes let's give delegates some credit. I went around this country. We have delegates who are medical doctors. We have delegates who are lawyers. We have a lot of professionals.
They all have their price, don't they?
No. So how much can you offer a doctor? In an election with over 1,040 delegates, how much can you offer each person for him to turn up to vote for you? Sometimes
are you the one who produced those footwear with the NDC embossments on them?
You know, I only saw it on social media.
It wasn't on the ground?
No, I didn't see anything like that. I even heard allegations about fridges being given to delegates. They came with buses. How are they going to transport all those fridges?
How about the gas cookers?
I didn't see that.
I saw people.
I didn't see that. You see, when you're in an election, it's difficult for you to see everything around you.
So you cannot discount them.
No, but I didn't give. I have been accused. I have seen pictures on social media, an envelope with my picture on, with 20 Ghana cedis on. Yeah. And I asked myself, so if I'm going to give money to delegates, let's assume I am not even a Mentis Compost up here. I'm going to give money to delegates. I put it in an envelope and then put my picture on it. And then I circulate it. Come on, what kind of politician am I then? And so when I saw it on social media, I was like, really? Opare Addo did this and I'm sitting here and I'm not even aware of it.
You are denying it. I mean,
I didn't do it. I gave food, yes. I gave water. I gave drinks. I don't deny any of that. But I didn't give money to any delegate to vote for me. And you see, journalists can help all of us. If you get into the streets and find out from them, did anybody offer you money? I'm sure some of the delegates will speak to you freely.
And they'll tell us they will give you money?
Of course, yes. If the person was giving money.
When they know that if they take the money, it's against the law.
Clearly. That is why I'm saying that those pictures you see on social media, you should be discounting them. Because if it is against the law, why would you even take pictures and post them on social media? Clearly, it doesn't add up. I keep asking myself, we should give delegates some credit. Because you see, I said I'm a delegate. Yeah. On the 17th of November, I will be voting. So is anybody going to bribe me? How much is the person going to offer me? For me to change my verdict or change my mind to go vote for the person?
We'll talk about that election soon. Now, why do you think you were a better candidate than Boja Jemfi?
I don't want to get into that. I believe that the delegates have spoken. It is for the delegates to decide who the better candidate was. Yeah. I went to them with my message. They believed my message at this material moment was what they needed to hear, or that is what the NDC needs to move the UPfront forward. And they voted for me. As to who is better, I'm not going to get into it. Clearly, the delegates have spoken.
It doesn't look like the more popular person won this election. Does it look like that to you?
Who said?
That Boja Jemfi is not all about.
I am more popular than Boja Jemfi in the politics of the NDC. I have been in the NDC's politics longer than Boja Jemfi.
Really?
Yes. Yes. You see, people here Opare Addo, they assume he's an old man. I saw some posts on social media saying that Opare Addo is a 43-year-old. At 26, I was running for parliament in the NDC. At 27, I was appointed the youngest MC in the history of this country. I have been a voice on radio from 2006. So most people hear the name of Opare Addo and assume he's an old man. In the politics of the NDC, I am more senior to Boja Jemfi. And have been around longer than Boja Jemfi in the politics of the NDC.
So who is going to choose your deputies for you?
My deputies were elected.
No, the two of them, I mean, yes. So they've already been...
Yeah, they were elected at Congress.
Yes, together with your very good self. You started work?
We've started interacting. Yesterday, I got my other deputy to represent me at one program I was invited to. So yes, we started working.
Is it true that they were from different camps? That you really are of the former President Rawlings camp and the two are purely President Mahama's people?
Seated here,
yes.
I have never met President Rawlings face to face in respect to these elections before. And I have not...
In respect to this election, or you've never met him before?
Oh, certainly he is my founder. I've been in the politics of the NDC.
For a very long time.
Exactly. So when I say I don't know him, then I may be lying.
Your father, does he have a very good relationship with former President Rawlings? Who? Your father?
Why is my father involved in this conversation?
I just want to know.
Yes, my father is Rawlings's friend. And my father is even closer to President Mahama than he's closer to President Rawlings.
So the question I'm going to is, are you opposed to President Mahama? Were you deemed to be opposed to President Mahama in this election? I
have never been opposed to President Mahama. And I'll never be opposed to President Mahama's bid. What I did not do, that I did not publicly endorse President Mahama's bid, because as I sit here today, I'm a national officer.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the referee in that elections. And I foresaw that I was going to win in an election. So when people kept on asking me that I should take a stand, I said no. I was a contestant in an election. And it would be very wrong on my part to take sides publicly and openly. But I have set time with our number that President Mahama is the NDC's best bet for power in 2020.
But some of your colleagues went around insisting that they were the chosen candidates of the former president and ought to be voted as such. Why didn't you do the same?
Raymond, in politics, strategies differ. They believe that that could help them win the elections. I didn't believe in that. I wanted to win these elections on my own strength and on my own merits. And that is exactly what I did. Because you did not think that riding on the candidature or the support of President Mahama would win you the election? I felt it was wrong because I criticized it. And I didn't want anybody riding on the back of the former president. Contest elections on your strength and win on your strength. So that the people believe in you. And you see, when we do that, I have seen newspaper publications. Mahama's candidate humiliated. Yes. In this elections, President Mahama did not have a candidate. How do you know that? Because I know for a fact that if President Mahama was supposed to choose a candidate, my relationship with President Mahama stands. You see, I don't call him Your Excellency. I call him Uncle John. I have known him way back. So if President Mahama was supposed to have chosen a candidate in this election, it was supposed to have been Opare Addo. Because we have a long-standing family relationship. I see. President Mahama knows me better than he knows Brigadier Jemfi. I see. Exactly. He knows where I live. He knows. I don't know. I'm not sure he knows where Brigadier Jemfi stays. He's known me longer. He knows my family's house. He knows everything about me, inside out. So if you're supposed to have chosen a candidate in this election, you're supposed to have been George Opare Addo. So when I heard people go around use his name, that is what I spoke against. That it is wrong for anybody to go around using the former president's name. Because you see, when I won, I've seen newspaper publications. President Mahama's candidate humiliated, when it is not true. But then they only do that to give the man a bad name. And I don't think it's right. And that is what I spoke against. But President Mahama, and I insist that President Mahama had no candidate in this election. It's very convenient and wonderful for you to say so now because you've won the election. You are more conciliatory because you want the youth to come together. No. But many say your posture was that you feared that with the backing of President Mahama, you did not really have any stronger chance against somebody like Brigadier Jemfi. And that's why you were out there insisting that nobody should court and seek to say that he had the support of the former leader of the party and also the former president. Raymond, I never, all along in the run-up to this election, ever say anywhere that nobody should use the former president's name to campaign. But I said you were opposed to it. It was only when I won that I came out, and it was in one of your sister stations, Adom FM, Adom TV, that I said that it is not right for people to be using the former president's name because it is only giving the former president a bad name, like the newspaper publications that came up when the man had no hand in these elections. Okay, that's interesting to know. You say he has no hand in the election. Yeah. You have also said here that you think he's the best candidate to win the election as the flag bearer of the NDC. I traveled around this country. Yeah. I met delegates. Yeah. Everywhere you go, what delegates tell you is that you should bring back the former president. He's readying himself up to run again. He's touring Greater Accra as I speak to you currently. When you see the numbers that are following him, it is obvious that he is the best person for the job at this material moment. And this is because you spoke to people and the people are the delegates, you see, the delegates are those who elect. Yeah. They are the people who are calling on him to come back. Okay, I get your point. So you think it's fair, it's appropriate, it is not skewed for you to seek to throw support behind the man, state that he is the best choice and is what the people want as delegates in this case, without offending the rest of those, without seeking to be prejudiced against them. No, you see, as a national officer. You see, I said something here. I said, George Opare Addo, publicly I will not endorse any candidate. But I've gone around this country. But what's the difference then? No, I have gone around this country. Of what effect is your comment on going around the country? The effect is that I will conduct myself fairly when I'm given the opportunity to conduct the next elections that will elect our flag bearer. Even when you have told people that Mahama is the one that people want? No, but you see, when you go around and you interact with people, and it is very clear that this is who their choice is. You have to say to the people. No, but the people are calling on him. Everywhere I've gone to, they've told me in plain words that we are going to elect you as youth organizer. Go and support him for him to become the next president of this country.
So if they go into the election and it doesn't win, what happens?
Nothing happens. Whoever comes, and I told them
you would have been proven wrong.
No. Yes, I would have been proven wrong. I said, and I've said time
Can you
without
work
number.
with the next candidate?
I have said time without number that I will not openly be out there campaigning for any flag bearer. Anybody who wins the elections to lead the NDC, I, George Opare Addo, will dedicate my whole self to that person and work to the best of my ability to make that person president of this country.
It's interesting. Now, the party is preparing to go for the November 17th election. How far has the preparation gone?
I know everything is on course. I am not in there yet. I'm a national youth organizer elect, so the old executives are still in charge. But I spoke to my national organizer, Kofi Adams, yesterday. We were supposed to have a meeting and then he'll bring us in so that we help conduct the elections. But what I know is that so far, so good. Everything is on course.
Everything is on course.
And let me also say that the conferences, the conference we had at Gomwa Fete on Saturday is one of the best conferences the NDC has ever had. So kudos to the organizers. And it's the same team that is organizing the main one at Trade Fair.
There was a level playing ground for everybody.
Certainly so.
There will be a level playing ground for everybody in the incoming election.
I hope so.
Professor George Opare Addo, people have actually raised concerns in times past. Have these concerns been addressed?
Unfortunately, I may not be able to speak to this. I'm sure the time he raised his concerns, I was also a candidate.
You were campaigning
yeah,
to
I was also campaigning, so I'm not able to speak.
But because you speak eloquently of how the current team are performing when it comes to elections.
I'm saying that what they did at Gomwa Fete was perfect.
But you've not met them to see what they will do in the next election.
I am yet to meet my national organizer, but it is the same team. So I don't doubt what they can do at Trade Fair. What they did at Gomwa Fete was perfect. So if it is the same team, then I can say that the NDC's Congress is in capable hands.
But you think that the request for a fair playing ground is fair?
When you say fair playing ground, what is he requesting for?
What they're saying is that currently they believe that the structures are tilted towards the former president. They will want actions of leaders, including your very self who's taken up a position, and also those who are going to organize the elections to be in the posture that doesn't support any of the candidates.
I'm sure Mr. Alabi is referring to the elections that will elect the flag bearer. This one,
ahead of that, of course, I know. I'm
ahead of that one.
Yes.
Okay. He may be mistaken because it is us, the new national officers, who will be conducting
the new
that
election.
election.
Yes.
So those who are here today will not be responsible for that election. That will
no, I'm not talking about November 17th election. I'm actually talking about the flag bearership election.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
and he's not talking about the leadership. Of course, every member there. It says the people who are put in charge of the election for the national officers. Those are the people he's targeting today.
Yeah, but the people there today will only organize this elections on the 17th.
They'll not be the ones organizing the next election.
I will be in charge. Whoever comes, I as youth organizer, together with my deputies, and then the national organizer who will be elected, will be the ones in charge of that elections.
Okay, that's
so
interesting.
He should wait when we win, and then he sees us doing anything contrary to what he expects, then he can make those allegations.
In your seat, Dr. Obedasamo said the number is too much. It should be cut down, pruned, so that there will be unity after the party go through this election. That's the flag bearers. Do you think so too?
This is a democracy. If anybody feels it's qualified.
But the NDC in times past had a pruning measure. It abandoned along the line. Obedasamo alluded to that particular one.
I don't know
the
about
MPP,
that.
Mindful of the history with the 17 people in times past, also alluded to a system which could prune to about 4 for the final election. Is the NDC, to your mind, supposed to consider a similar system?
Any suggestion that will improve upon the politicking of the NDC is a good one. So I have no difficulties what my senior or what my former chairman Obed is saying. But as it stands now, how many people have even come up to run for president? How many people? 6?
Oh, we've counted more than 11. When you say 6, you leave out people like, what they call the former member of the current member of parliament, still the former central regional minister, and others, including Inusa, and also including Agbemava, Elikem, and others who are actually in the race.
I'm saying that as a democracy, it will be so unfair to say that somebody who is qualified. You see, the pruning system was that there was a first step within the NPP's one.
Yeah.
Then those who couldn't get a certain percentage were dropped off.
Yes.
Yes, maybe the NDC will adopt something similar. But for now, everybody has the right to contest. Our constitution allows anybody who is qualified to be president to contest in these elections.
Okay, now let's get to these matters. You've been heard to have said that you are not in any way opposed to vigilante groups within the NDC, the Hawks and the other groups that are springing up at the speed of light in this particular case.
So let me ask you, Raymond, if the NDC had not come up with the Hawks, it was okay for the NPP to have the invisible forces and Delta forces.
No, but I mean,
you see,
nobody said it was okay.
In the last few days,
in the run-up to the 2016 election, the police came out to say that it's made the political parties agreed to dismantle or disband these groups. That was the agreement then. The police came out later on to come and tell us that they've given them 3 months to do so. Then there was a subsequent notification which suggested that the political parties and their vigilante groups are deemed to have been disbanded already. So there's not been any consensus on keeping these.
Raymond, the NDC, the party I belong to, for a very long time, have had people who manage our internal security. We were in government for 8 years. We lost power in 2016. We left office in 2017. Within that 8-year span, there was not a single day that our internal security boys went out to assault any private citizen. Not one single day did our boys go out to unleash mayhem. We lost power in 2016. On 9th January 2017, at the Flagstaff House, ASP Nanka Bruce, a senior police officer, was assaulted by this so-called Delta or invisible forces. Up to date, today is the 1st of November 2018, not one single person has even been prosecuted. At the Regional Coordinating Council in Kumasi, a national security operative who was appointed by the president was assaulted. As if that was not enough, when they were arrested and taken to court, a judge sat in court. The judge had to be chased out of court. Up to date, not one single person.
We know of the instances. I have actually catalogued them in times
past. Up to date, not one single person have been prosecuted or faced the law. Raymond, we had a deputy minister of defense, retired Major Derek Odro, coming out publicly to tell us that political parties should form vigilante groups because they, the NPP, cannot disband their vigilante groups. The NDC is a responsible political party. We are not in any way in support of vigilantism, no. But it has become necessary. No, we are not. You see, it has become necessary because a police officer was assaulted at the Flagstaff House. Nothing happened. A judge was chased out of court. Nothing happened. A security coordinator was assaulted. Nothing happened. A minister of state with police protection had to run for his dear life. Nothing has happened. So Raymond, you a journalist seated in the studios of Joy FM. Today, if you are assaulted by this so-called vigilante groups, what is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. That is why it has become necessary.
My colleague was assaulted by the secretary of former President Mahama.
No, don't mix the two issues. Don't mix the two issues.
I am asking a question. Okay. If you would allow me, I'm sure you get my point.
I hear you.
Up to today, it's uncertain whether or not the gentleman was a vigilante group member or established secretary of the former president. But at least there's been an apology from the office of the former president.
That is responsible leadership.
No, are you saying that that is one of the consequences of vigilantism which happens all the time?
No. Raymond, let's get an understanding here. A security detail. Let's say we saw the president's security detail assault an old man. Did we blame that on vigilantism?
The pushback?
Yeah, the pushback. It was not just a pushback. He punched him in the throat.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Oh, we all saw that, Raymond. You punched him in the throat.
Okay. Yeah,
did we call that vigilantism? No. It was security gone bad. The former president travels with security. The law allows him to have private security men around him. So when a private security man in his team does anything wrong, let's not equate that to vigilantism. There are two different issues. Vigilantism is what we've seen. Running into offices, chasing judges out, assaulting ministers of state. That is what we call vigilantism.
The minister says he was not assaulted.
Oh, Raymond, he had to run for his dear life. When they disrupt your meeting and your security guard will have to run away after you, and you say you've not been assaulted, no problem. But we all saw what happened in the video.
So again, you are saying that the MPP has vigilante groups. That's why you also want to have vigilante groups.
I am saying that. What I am saying is that if Akufo-Addo acts responsibly by disbanding his vigilante group, then the NDC will have no cause.
The president has stated categorically he has no support of, and this is on 4 different occasions that I've heard.
I'm coming. The people who assaulted the police officer.
The president has
the people
stated,
who assaulted the police officer.
But you cannot discount that particular statement for the president. You can't say that.
And I'm saying the people who assaulted the police officer at the Flagstaff House. As we speak, some of them are still screening personnel at the Flagstaff House. If nothing has happened to them, then I'll treat the president's speech with the contempt he deserves. Because you know what?
Sorry. Name to me the people who are still security personnel in the Flagstaff House who assaulted the gentleman you're talking about.
Raymond.
And I want specifics in this case.
Raymond.
But you can't make a blanket statement like that. I want specifics in this case.
When Kweku Ayendo was even arrested, when Kweku was arrested, the NDC came out to point out people we knew who were members of the private security who were there at the police headquarters wearing police CID tags on them that were out there. We came out to say it. And I'm telling you that the people, I'm coming, Raymond, I'm coming. The people who are
You're not answering my question, though.
Raymond,
my question is that...
Because you know I cannot give you a name. But I'm telling you
But you can't say that for a fact.
Raymond, it is the truth. The people are still at the Flagstaff House.
Who are they?
Where did they assault the police officer?
Who are they?
Where did they assault the police officer?
But can't give me specifics.
No, where did they assault the police officer? We
understand it's the Flagstaff House.
Exactly, and I'm telling you, the guys who assaulted him, have one been arrested? Did you and I not see the video?
But your claim is that they were there at the Flagstaff House.
Did you and I not see the video?
I heard they said that they were investigating the matter. That's what I heard.
How many years now? When the video was so clear, we could see faces. What kind of investigation lasts for a year?
So again, and that becomes the president's problem.
No, the president is in charge of the vigilante group, of the NPP.
How is that possible?
How is it not possible? He used them while he was in opposition. When he was opposition leader, these were the same people who provided screening for them. When the young guy, Bamba, also spoke in Ashanti region, what did he tell Ghanaians? That they worked for the NPP and brought the NPP to power, and they were promised. Today, as I speak to you now, Bamba has been appointed a deputy director within the NPP's youth wing, in charge of operations. This same lawless young man. So if I tell you that the president sanctions it, then you should know what I'm talking about.
And you're of the opinion the president made the appointment?
If the NPP makes appointments, the president is the leader of the NPP.
It's interesting how you think everything boils down to what the president's supposed to be responsible for.
Who appoints the IGP?
It's the president of the Republic
of Ghana. So if the IGP is not performing, if after a year and 11 months, a senior police officer was assaulted at the Flagstaff House, the seat of government, and one person, just one person, have not been arrested and prosecuted, who do I blame? If the president was proactive, I believe the IGP would have been up and doing it by now. Because he's not proactive. That is how come nobody has been prosecuted and nobody has been
So what do you want the president to do to the IGP? Sack him? Replace him?
If he's not performing, what do you do to him?
And you're saying that the entire yardstick for determining whether the IGP performs is because he's not arrested a couple of...
A judge had to be chased out of her courtroom. Nobody has been prosecuted for it. Raymond, cut me some slacks. Nobody, the security coordinator in Ashanti region was assaulted. A minister was chased out of a meeting. As we speak now, not one arrest. Doctors have been beaten in the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Nothing has happened. Raymond, let's get real with ourselves.
On August 18, 2018, the ringleader in that particular Tamale hospital attack was arrested.
And what happened to him?
And I'm sure you've heard that before.
He was given bail.
Sorry. But of course, a bail is a process of law.
And then after the bail, what next? Has he been prosecuted?
No, you said nobody was arrested.
No, he was.
That claim is not true.
No, Raymond. If the ringleader, was it only the ringleader who went there?
No.
So you pick up the ringleader, and then the same day he's given bail.
So then
and then he's not prosecuted.
The scope of what you said.
Prosecuted.
Because what you said basically was that the man was not arrested at all.
Raymond, if he was even arrested, what happened?
I'm not in charge of the investigation in this case.
After the arrest, what next? We, the Ghanaian people...
they do investigations. They don't just proceed to do prosecution.
You need to build confidence in the Ghanaian people.
Yeah.
As it stands now, go into the streets and ask 10 Ghanaians. 8 of them will tell you that they don't have any confidence in the president and the police when it comes to actions in respect to vigilantism.
That's a survey that's been done?
I am telling you that, yes. So go into the streets now.
Which survey?
Oh, Raymond.
Oh, you're not commissioning me to do that.
I thought you said you had already done that. Go into the streets now.
Okay.
Find out 10 people. And then they will tell you that they don't have no confidence in the police.
Okay, so all that you've told me is that the MPP, they have vigilante groups. They are not controlling them properly. So we also want to have some.
Raymond, I am saying that. Raymond, I am saying that. Yes. I am saying that. As it stands now, the police have refused to act professionally.
The police have listed on 14 different occasions where they have arrested and are in the throes of prosecuting people who are...
11 months.
Yes, what's the point?
1 year, 11 months.
Yes.
Justice should be swift, my brother.
Really?
Yes. You see, if I sit here, and I'll continue to use the Flagstaff as an example, not one person.
That's the only incident you seem to recall.
Because that is where the president sits. And it was a senior police officer. You see, we can't excuse the others. But this time it was a police officer who was assaulted. The president sits there. It was the office of the president that it happened. The office where the president presides over. So up to date.
Now, beyond these examples, again, is that what you're saying? That it's because the MPP is failing to prosecute people who have engaged themselves in vigilantism or hooliganism. That's why you also want to create your own group.
I have said time without number that the NDC is not a lawless political party. We believe in the rule of law.
So
but as we sit today,
the Hawks are an extension of the rule of law.
No, the Hawks are internal security.
Internal security?
Yes. Have the Hawks caused any mayhem anywhere? Have they attacked anybody? Have they gone on? I'm asking, has the Hawks done anything wrong? Yes, Raymond. Show me.
This is your claim, that the Hawks are internal security?
They are internal security.
Sorry, when are they registered as a security company? When?
Raymond.
The laws of this country says that if you want to do that job, you should be registered, properly acknowledged as such. When were the Hawks registered as
I am telling you that the Hawks are properly registered. You can double check.
When
they did is not important. I am telling you that they are registered. So you can double check.
What's the name of the company that they are registered under?
I said they are registered.
Under which company's
name? Raymond, under which company is not important. What I am telling you that the Hawks are registered. You can go do your verification.
No, registration is not done in an empty vein. It's a name of a company that goes in there.
It's a security company.
And that's
the Hawks.
The name is what?
Internal security of the NDC.
So are they registered as NDC Internal Security or Hawks Security something?
I said they are registered.
And I want to know under which name.
I am telling you they are registered. Under the name I don't know, but I know the Hawks are properly registered.
So who then told you they have been registered?
Because I know for a fact that they are registered.
How do you know when you don't know the name under which they've been registered?
Raymond, if I want to find out whether a company is registered, you may be called Joy FM. Yes. But you may be registered under a different name.
Yes.
It is not for me to
That's why I'm asking you the name of the company.
So that I will check. The Hawks is a registered entity. You can always check with the Registrar General. I'm telling you, it's a registered entity. They provide internal security. They are not a vigilante group. So don't equate them to the vigilante groups of the MPP.
Hold on.
What we are saying is that the Hawks will continue to provide internal security for the NDC. And they will help us protect the ballot when it becomes necessary.
So that's the internal security role they'll play?
Of course, yes.
Helping protect the ballot?
They will protect the NDC at our conferences, provide security at our conferences. But when it becomes necessary, and there is a condition precedent, if it becomes necessary that they have to help protect the ballot, they will be deployed to protect the ballots.
The General Secretary of the party said they will be forced to create more vigilante groups. He didn't say security groups or internal security. Sorry.
You asked the question about the Hawks.
Yes.
And I told you that the Hawks are not a vigilante group.
Yes.
They are part of our internal security arrangements.
Yes.
But I also said that if the MPP does not disband their vigilante groups, then we'll be compelled to also form our own.
So far, the NDC doesn't have any vigilante groups.
You only know a vigilante group when they are out there causing mayhem. Have our boys or has the NDC gone out?
Azoka boys, have they been disbanded?
The Azoka boys is not a vigilante group. Did they cause any mayhem?
It's not a vigilante group.
Did they cause any mayhem? Azoka was the name of our former regional chairman in the northern region.
Seriously?
And he had boys who run around him. Did they cause any mayhem?
Yes.
When?
Let me tell you about that particular incident in the northern region where then Marco Yongo, as minister, had to bemoan the fact that it was a problem between Azoka boys. Another grouping from the MPP had to call the Bamba boys or so. And the only way they could resolve this is to sit together and discuss it with them. This, he mentioned, was specifically referencing the Azoka boys.
Azoka, the name Azoka.
Yes.
Azoka was our former regional chairman in the northern region. So he had boys around him.
If we want to deal with this problem, I think some level of being candid
I take exception to the word.
No. Because what you're saying,
this is what I know.
This is a recognized group that everybody knows in this country.
Azoka was our regional chairman, and he had boys around him. I'm not disputing
to the extent that the man who was interior minister admits that this is a vigilante group.
Okay, if he did say that, I didn't hear him say that.
He didn't know about that.
No, I didn't hear. But you see, you assume that everything that was said I should know. I don't know.
I see.
I don't know. What I know is that we had a regional chairman called Azoka. And Azoka had boys who followed him. Today, I'm youth organizer. They'll definitely have boys following me. Will they call them
so you are stating on record that there is no vigilante group in the NDC as we speak?
As it stands now, I don't know of any vigilante group in the NDC.
I don't know. It's very convenient. Yeah, I want to know. You're a national officer.
Yes, and I'm saying that as it stands now, I am a national officer elect. I'm yet to take my oath of office.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, I don't know of any vigilante group. And I'm telling you that the Hawks is not a vigilante group.
I see.
Yes.
All right, let me get this clear. You said that you'll be setting up a few in the nearest future.
If President Opare Addo and the police does not disband, and there is a condition.
Is there a timeline to it?
No, because we are going into a major elections in 2020. Yeah. We will not allow the MPP to intimidate our voice.
So how long have you given the president and his party to disband their own?
We expect the president to act right. So we expect journalists and civil society to call on the president to act right. Because if he doesn't, then we'll be compelled to protect ourselves.
Is there a timeline to it?
I can't give him a timeline. He should know that as president of the country, he has a responsibility towards the people of Ghana.
So what time will be very early or too late for you to create your own vigilante groups, the president has the act?
When we get there, we'll cross the river.
Which year is the when we get there?
I can't
2020?
You see, issues of security are not issues you set out and discuss them publicly. If it becomes necessary, what I can assure our teaming supporters out there is that the NDC, the youth wing of the NDC, which I lead, we will make sure we protect every individual who supports the NDC. And we will not allow any acts of intimidation.
And this is to pretend that the police is no longer competent and qualified to do this job.
But the police officer has been beaten and nothing has happened. The judge has been chased out of court.
One police officer.
How many incidents do you need?
A single incident.
A judge was chased out of court and nothing happened. Never in our history, even during the dark days with the military, there was not a point in time that a judge was chased out whilst you're seated in court. Never. Find out from our history. These are terrible times.
I get the point you're trying to make, but I'm confused. You are saying that these are bad incidents.
Yes.
But you still will be forced to protect yourself by...
But Raymond, if the police can't protect me, the Constitution allows you to protect yourself.
The IGP has actually assured the people of this republic.
His colleague police officer, ASP Nankabus, was assaulted, and nothing happened. The IGP is past his retirement time. It's time for him to go home so that a younger person is appointed.
But that's what the point you are discussing.
I'm just saying, because he's not acted right. As IGP, what has he done to protect the citizens of this country?
He set up Operation Calm Life. He set up several operations to deal with many problems in this country. In fact, the IGP has
he dealt with vigilantism? Has he?
I don't remember the last time I heard of an vigilantism issue.
2 weeks ago, it happened in Ashanti region. Last time, the minister was assaulted 2 weeks ago.
You're still saying assault. The man says he was not assaulted. How can you claim assault on the man who's not assaulted?
Raymond, define assault.
The man says he was not assaulted.
Assault.
Sorry, I don't have to define it. But the claim is
Raymond,
that the man you say was assaulted.
He cannot speak against his people. He's afraid for his life. They will come after him again. But we all saw the video. So if, you see...
Okay, what's the best way of dealing with this vigilante problem?
The best way is the government acting responsibly. That's all. You see, we've given our power to the president. That social contract is there for him to protect us.
And you have said categorically on several occasions that I do not support them.
You do not support them, arrest them.
You did not act in my interest.
When you say you don't support them, and then a leader of that group is appointed a deputy director of operations in your political party, and you've not come out to condemn it and criticize it, then you tell me you don't support it. Talk is cheap. That is exactly what the president is doing.
I will come to this point later on, but for now, I need to take a break. My guest is the National Youth Organizer-elect of the NDC, George Opare Addo. I'm seeking to find out why he thinks it is lofty and nice to say we will create our own vigilante groups if the NPP do not disband their own. After the break, we'll talk more about what's going to happen in the nearest future, 2020 election, in the upcoming years, and what's the posturing of the NDC youth ahead of that particular election. You're welcome back. This is Upfront. My guest today is the newly elected National Youth Organizer of the opposition NDC. George Opare Addo has been in time past an MCE for Kwapim North. He held the position on 2 different occasions, right? Yes. During the time of President J.E. Mills and also in President Mohammed's time. Now, he's been elected to lead the NDC. He's one of those who believe that the NDC should, on its own, form vigilante groups, because the government party have them and are not willing to disband them. He seems to also suggest that he's lost faith in the police to protect the NDC. The more reason why some of these institutions or quasi-security groups ought to be put in place. Now, we continue our conversation with him. You're welcome, sir.
Raymond, let me make a quick correction. You said that I support. What I said, and I want it out there, is that if the police and if the government does not disband the MPP's vigilante group, then we will be compelled to form same. Also, I also stated here that a minister for defense, retired Major Derek Odro, is on record to have said that political parties need to form vigilante groups because the MPP cannot disband their vigilante groups.
Sorry, and you're of the opinion that...
So if the Minister of Defense,
a Deputy Minister
of Defense, a Member of Parliament, for that matter, makes this point, and also, if the police have not... And
to you, that's more important than what the President has said consistently.
But I'm just telling you that a Deputy Director of Operations within the NPP's youth wing is the leader of the Invisible Forces in Ashanti region. He's been appointed in the President's party. And this is a group...
And you say that the President makes appointment in his party.
Raymond,
so he's in a position to influence
what I'm saying is that this is not an elected position.
Yeah.
This is a position that was elected or that is agreed on at, what do you call it, at NEC or something. So before they appoint any of these officers, they go to NEC and then agree that this person is the one we are appointing. So the president cannot say that he's not aware that Bamba has been appointed the director of operations, the deputy director of operations within the youth wing of the NPP. So if he, the leader of the Invincible Forces, who has unleashed a lot of mayhem, ran a judge out of court, stormed the regional coordinating council, and not too long ago, changed the minister of state.
Oh, he's one of those people.
And he's the leader of the Invincible Forces.
So why...
He was on tape.
Sorry, why knowing all of this, why didn't you report him to the police in the Ashanti region when they asked for evidence to prosecute the people who did this act?
Hey, Raymond.
You are a law-abiding citizen, right?
Raymond.
You have evidence that the gentleman carried out illegal acts.
He's the leader of the Invincible Forces. When they stormed the regional coordinating council, he granted that interview on radio and said they went there to chase the guy out because the guy was not from the region. You understand? And this same guy has been appointed. This guy has not faced the law. And he's been appointed as a deputy director of operations. And you tell me that the president is not aware of this? Then he might be sleeping.
Now, let me get this point clear. You've also been said to have made comments that if a single NDC person is attacked, 4 NPP people will be attacked.
Certainly so.
So you don't respect the laws of this country?
No. You see, if the Invincible Forces, I am the youth organizer of the NDC, elect. I am supposed to protect members of the NDC.
The protection of people in this country is not left to you.
The police have refused to do their job.
On which occasion did you call on them and they refused to do so?
I've given you incidents
where... No, don't talk about Anka Bruce. This is not the example. I'm asking you. On which occasion have you called on the police? Have they refused to?
It shouldn't happen to me. When a senior police officer was not protected, and up to today nothing has happened, I should sit there.
So you have the opinion because an incident has happened at the Flagstaff House, all Ghanaians are not safe?
No. Not just
or
the
NDC youth?
Not just the Flagstaff
Yes.
House.
Well, the countable number of incidents you can actually put your fingers on.
Raymond, nobody supports violence.
But it does look like what you're promoting.
Raymond, the Constitution of Ghana gives you the right to protect yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
It doesn't give me the right to create
it gives you the right to protect yourself.
Military institutions to protect myself.
See, look at the definition of a vigilante group. When law enforcement refuses to act, that is when vigilante groups come up as a sort of revenge. Look at the meaning of a vigilante group.
So this is your definition.
I am not saying I have formed a vigilante group. I'm saying that if they do not disband DS, they will be compelled because we will not allow them to come and intimidate us. And if they make the mistake of attacking one NDC person, because they become lawless and the law has refused to deal with them, if they go on that tangent and attack one NDC person, we will attack 4 of them.
Now, let me get this also straight. When you say that you attack 4 of them, mindful of the fact that when there's an attack, you ought to report to the police and the state institutions, are you not promoting lawlessness?
We are not promoting lawlessness. We are calling on the president to act responsibly
by
disbanding his boys.
By attacking people.
But if his boys comes to attack us, and we've seen that the police have refused to act anytime they attack people, what can we do? We have to protect ourselves and defend ourselves. We are not going to attack anybody. But if they attack us, we have to defend ourselves.
If the NDC were to be in power and the MPP made similar comments, would you think that would be lawful?
You see, Raymond, you are not getting something right.
No,
we are saying that
the
NDC is a law-abiding political party.
Which will attack people if it is attacked.
We will not attack anybody if we are not attacked. If they attack us, and we know that the police will act diligently and do their job, we'll have no cause to attack.
Have you tried the police in this case before?
But I've given you instances. I've named 5 instances.
Which of them involves NDC youth?
It should not involve. But if people in authority who should have police protection, a minister was running for his life, the judge has a police person protecting her in court. Mind you, they attacked the judge in court. They attacked the senior police officer. So should I wait for the NDC youth to be attacked? Raymond, what are you telling me?
No, but my point here is that this is a man whose political party is seeking to run the country in very much. It has done so, not recent, not long ago.
When we were in power,
and all of a sudden, you have given up on the security of the Republic of Ghana.
The
same security you expect to protect the President of the Republic of Ghana, to protect the NDC's flag bearer in the nearest future, and your party.
Raymond, when we were in power, did you hear of any incidents of vigilantism or NDC people going on rampage and assaulting people, beating police officers and going into court and chasing judges out? No.
Not specifically this incident, but I've heard of so many.
So
the
many.
relative of, what's the name of the gentleman, Collins Dowda, who is said to be leading his own vigilante group in the Brown-Afro region. His conduct in this particular case was brought into sharp focus. No, sorry. No. You asked for examples. I'm
reducing the argument.
If you want, I can actually list a
If a
couple of them
private
too.
citizen does something, we expect the police to deal with the person.
Of course, the same way that vigilantes ought to be dealt with by police
this
groups.
is, you see, this is an established group. The Delta forces, the invisible forces. They're an established group unleashing mayhem onto citizens of this country.
I want to move to this other topic. I mean, basically today, what we have is that the NDC is seeking to win the 2020 election.
Certainly.
The NDC will win, right?
That is why we are here to help win power in 2020.
You are very hopeful that whoever leads the NDC into that election will win.
You see, what Akufo Addo has done to the state of Ghana.
I'll come to talk about that, but specifically, you are very hopeful, right?
Yes.
What made the NDC lose 2016?
A lot of issues, and I'm not
specifically.
Here to I can't. You see,
no,
a committee's report.
Yes.
We commissioned a committee to get into why we lost.
You don't know?
If you let me finish, I know some of the reasons, but I don't know all.
Which ones do you know?
Raymond, I cannot come and sit here and speak about issues.
If you know, share.
I can share it. There's
Yes.
issues about my party. We fixed them. We are reorganizing the party. Yes, we fixed them.
I see.
We are reorganizing the party. So I'm not here to discuss issues that
was corruption during the John Dramani Mahama's time, perceived or lack thereof, was it part of the issues?
You see, when you speak about corruption, we've seen bigger issues of corruption under Akufo Addo.
So there was corruption there?
There was no corruption.
But I said you've seen bigger ones.
I'm saying yes, we've seen bigger scandals. So you see,
compared to the previous smaller scandals,
they lied about corruption. They are in power. They've been in power for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
We are still waiting for them to prosecute and jail anybody for corruption.
Prosecution is ongoing in 2 different cases.
You see, the amount of allegations that were leveled against the NDC, at this material moment, we're expecting to have about 40 or 50 people in court for corruption. 2 people, and then the amount of allegations and lies that were told. The 2 people being in court doesn't mean that they are guilty. They'll have their days in court.
Actually, there are more than 2, but the place that there are 2 cases that are in court.
If it is even 10, I can confidently tell you that all of them will have their day in court.
Of course, that's what's happening.
Yeah,
and that's what happens all the time.
So I can tell you that those allegations of corruption were unfounded. Lies that were put together by the NPP and told.
Really?
Yes.
All of them?
But I'm telling you that the amount of lies they told, the kind of things they told Ghanaians, they've come in and they've shifted the goalposts several times.
What's your strategy going into the next election?
Oh, Raymond, you don't expect me to come and sit here and discuss strategy.
Okay, what's your trump card going into the next election?
George Opare Addo or the NDC?
The NDC.
Raymond, so you think I'll come and sit here and tell you about what our trump card is, so that the NPP works against it? No. What I can tell you is that we will win the 2020 elections.
Very bold on that.
Yes, we will win the elections. We will win the 2020 elections. And we will win convincingly.
What will make you win that election?
Because you see, Ghanaians are beginning to see what the truth is. Ghanaians are beginning to see through the lies of the NPP. And the Ghanaians appreciate
Which specific lie are you talking about?
Raymond, if I start...
Yes, I want you to start. Okay. I still have time. Tell me specific ones.
In the run-up to the 2016 elections, the NPP promised that they'll be building factories in every district.
Yes.
They also promised that they'll be sending 1 million.
Are these lies?
Yes, they are lies.
How?
Why are the factories?
But we are not...
They are commissioning old factories that were already in existence. I'm coming.
Sorry.
I'm coming.
We are just Raymond, 2 years into the tenure of the current president.
Raymond, they said
not even 2 years yet.
They said we're going to construct dams in every village.
So the promises are now lies.
I'm coming. Have they materialized? No. They gave time frames for sanitation, for instance. They told us that in 100 days, Accra will be the cleanest city. Is Accra the cleanest city?
Really, 100 days?
Yes.
Where was it?
Look into their manifesto.
Which page of the manifesto?
Oh, Raymond. So you expect me, am I an encyclopedia to have pages of their manifesto?
But if you make a claim,
but they said it on platforms.
You.
They said it on platforms.
You said this in the manifesto.
And I'm telling you, they said they will make Accra the cleanest city.
In 100 days?
Yes, in 100 days.
There was no promise of 100 days.
No, not just that. They also made promises in 100 days. They also said that they were going to reduce taxes. They were going to move the economy from...
Weren't taxes reduced?
Fuel prices, have they been reduced?
Are they taxes?
But there's still taxes on fuel.
Yes, but I didn't say that they will reduce those ones.
They said fuel prices were too high. And when they come, there were taxes that President Mahama had put on that made the prices go high. And you're
talking about the ESLA on that. But that's been reduced itself.
When we're blaming deregulation, they said, no, we cannot blame deregulation. So they said, about me, even made a post and said that anybody who increases prices is a very wicked person or something. The ordinary Ghanaian today is struggling. Raymond, go into the streets, go into Abosiokai and tell them you're NPP. They'll beat you. I'm telling you, go into Abosiokai, go into Makola.
And you endorse that?
When you go and say you're MPP, they will beat you. You know why they will beat you? Because they know you've lied to them.
Okay, so let's be clear.
Yeah.
All that you've said is that they've not delivered on all the promises that they gave the people.
Yeah.
And these are lies to you.
No, Raymond, apart
especially
from
when they still have 2 more years to go.
Raymond, apart from that, they campaigned on a lot of issues that were not factual. For example, some of the things they said about the NDC, issues of corruption. They made a lot of allegations of corruption against us. A lot of it. Almost every project, like the Range Hospital, even some of the projects we're doing, they call them Photoshop. But today they are going around commissioning those projects. The Range Hospital, for instance. Even the Kaswa interchange.
But Ghanaians heard them and voted them rather against
And I'm saying that now Ghanaians are beginning to see through the lies. Because Ghanaians believed them then. When they became political quantity surveyors and just looked at projects and said, this project has been overestimated, and that's somebody behind it had taken something. Even today, 6-unit classroom blocks. Go and check how much the MPP is building 6-unit classroom blocks. They are building them for 700,000 Ghana cedis. Ordinary 6 units that the NDC was building them for 400,000. So clearly Ghanaians are beginning to see through the lies. And I can assure you.
And that's the reason why they'll vote for the NDC.
No, because Ghanaians know that the NDC, you see, they've borrowed over 45 billion.
No matter who's leading the NDC.
No matter who leads the NDC
no matter what perceived corruption the NDC was involved in previously.
As for corruption, now, today, Ghanaians have seen bigger issues of corruption.
Specifically what?
Oh. Kelly GVG.
How is that corruption?
How is that corruption?
Where is it proven that it's corruption? That's the question I'm asking you.
You and I know it's not easy to prove corruption. You and I know. But we've all seen the figures.
So alleged corruption?
Alleged corruption, call it alleged.
Okay, I see.
Call it alleged.
Yeah.
But it's apart from that. As we speak currently, the Director General of the Maritime Authority, there is not a single week that an allegation of corruption is not leveled against the NPP.
Mere allegations.
Whatever you call it, Ghanaians are seeing elevated conditions in a 2-bedroom house, mere allegations. Call them whatever you want to call them. These are factual. These are things everybody is seeing. You see, we saw the bust issue. When we spoke about it, oh, nothing was happening. A committee was being set up by the minister. The next day we heard the committee has been set up to clear the best. The next time we heard he's been fired. So many issues.
And that's corruption.
The bust issue is not corruption. What are you talking about, my brother?
So because he was removed from office.
No.
And no state agency said it was because of corruption.
No. You see, the NPP is crafty when it comes to issues concerning them. And the ordinary Ghanaian knows what the truth is. Bust, for instance, we also what happened. Evaporation of crude. If that is not corruption, what else is corruption?
It's interesting how you bundle these as corruption, especially when they are. Yes.
I am not bundling them.
So, okay.
These are things that
the conclusion of what you have just said is that because the Ghanaian people will now perceive the NPP as corrupt, that's why they'll hand.
No, I didn't say because they'll perceive them as corrupt, that's why they'll vote for the NDC. No.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the Ghanaian people are going to compare the record of the NDC in 4 years under President Mahama, and then the record of Akufo-Addo in 4 years. How much is borrowed, and what has happened to all the amount they borrowed, and how much the NDC borrowed, and what happened to the amount of money we borrowed, what we put them into. As we speak now, NPP has borrowed over 45 billion. They cannot even point to...
It can't be 45 billion.
Come again?
Which period are you using to determine
the NPP from 45 billion cedis.
From
45 billion cedis.
From which time to which time?
From 7 January 2017 till now. Check your figures.
Till when?
Till now, today, 1st November 2018. Yes, they borrowed 43 billion.
And what's the source of this information?
Check with the Ministry of Finance. Check how much they borrowed.
Sorry, I'm asking, what's the source of this information?
The Ministry of Finance. Check.
So what's our total public debt today?
You want our total public debt? I don't have that figure offhand.
Yes, how are you able to tell me that?
But I am telling you that as in the last 1 year, 11 months, the NPP has borrowed 43 billion Ghana cedis. Double check.
No, let's be clear. I'm asking for source of this information.
Now I'm telling you, the Ministry of Finance website. Go there now. You have a computer.
Hold on. On the website.
Yeah, you find out. But total debt, how much they've borrowed in the last. The
Ministry of Finance website do not have data up to November. I'm sorry.
I am telling you that.
The fiscal data on the Ministry of Finance website does not include the November.
I am telling you that as at 1st November.
Yes.
Now, the total debt at the last check was 43 billion.
What do you mean by the last check?
Raymond, why don't you help all of us by double checking?
I'm saying that I'm on the website of the Ministry of Finance.
I'm telling you that. So how much have we borrowed so far?
There is nowhere.
How much have we borrowed?
Sorry, their reference data is up to July of this year.
As of July, how much have we borrowed?
Sorry. And not up to the month of November.
As of July,
so when you tell me about that,
as of July,
but so
I am speaking.
So you didn't even know the data in the first place.
And I am telling you that as of now they borrowed 43 billion. So tell me it's a lie. Tell me they've not borrowed up to 43 billion.
There's not borrowed up to 43
How much have they borrowed up
Actually, within the period I'm talking about, it's about 37 billion additional debt.
I am telling you that as of now, it's 43 billion. But they go before Parliament. He said as of July, it was 37 billion.
Yes,
and I'm telling you that as of November, it is 33 billion.
And your source is the website.
And I'm telling you that
there's nothing on the website that dictates that.
Every time there is a loan agreement, it goes before Parliament.
Yes.
They put together all of it.
So now your source is Parliament.
And I'm not telling my source is Parliament. I'm telling you that at the last check, I know that the NPP has borrowed 43 billion. If you are telling me
and
that
this is no longer on MoFab website.
No, if you are telling me as of July, they had borrowed on their website, they said they borrowed up to 37 billion in July. We are in November. They keep borrowing. They just told us that borrowing cannot stop. And they are borrowing. And I'm telling you that as of today, they borrowed 43 billion. They cannot point to one infrastructure project that they put the money into. All the borrowing is going to recurrent expenditure. That is what we are talking about.
All the borrowing is going to recurrent expenditure.
But if you have over 1,000 staffers at the Flagstaff House.
Not to pay debt left in times past.
I am telling you that the borrowing is going to recurrent expenditure. But paying off debt is recurrent expenditure.
No, but I'm coming to this particular point. Yes. My question to you more directly in this case is that, so because the NPP borrowed more, then this will be voted into power?
No. I'm telling you that all that they are borrowing, they are not putting them into structures that the Ghanaian people can see. They are borrowing to pay recurrent expenditure. And they accuse the NDC. One of the campaign messages they used, Ron, was that we're borrowing and then the projects were not visible because all the projects we're talking about were Photoshop. Today, they are going around commissioning all those projects. The Ghanaian people are seeing the projects today. And they know that those projects are attributed to President Mahama.
I'm afraid I have to run up on this particular one, but I guess we can do this conversation sometime again in the nearest future when the parties together with a policy direction and message to go into the next election. Many thanks to you, George Opare Addo, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for accommodating me on your show.
Well, folks, this is UPfront, and that's where we tie the 9 ribbons on today's edition.